Good morning. Let's continue with Genesis 1, and as we work through, we're starting to look at some of the details. And it says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Then God said, 'Let there be light,' and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So the evening and the morning were the first day." Okay, this is interesting. There's a lot of little details here. First of all, what does formless mean? What does formless and void? A lot of people have thought of a lump of clay taken by a potter just before he makes a vase, and the lump of clay that he just rips off the big lump is just has no discernible form. Of course, it does technically have a form. It's a solid lump, but it's no discernible form. It hasn't been shaped into anything particular. That's a possibility. I rather like that idea. It sort of portrays God as a great potter or a great artist creating a sculpture. The other possibility is actually that one of the things I notice is that water plays a big role in creation and recreation. You'll notice that water is there, of course, with the recreation through the flood and through baptism and other things. And you see that's a recurrent theme in Scripture. So I just wonder if, in fact, what we're looking at is a planet of nothing but water. Of course, this is before the land has been formed. So, I just wonder, because water doesn't have any particular shape. It takes the shape of the vessel that it's in, and so it doesn't have a shape of its own. And I just wonder if that's actually what this is really talking about. Okay, so I just picture a whole water world, and that's what we've got. And then we have the Spirit of God. The Spirit of God is hovering over the waters, brooding almost. I think is sort of nuanced there, like a hen on her eggs, and they're just about to create new life, and it's the Ruach Elohim. And we've got obviously a doctrinal basis there for showing that the Spirit is involved in creation. So the Spirit is the creator, and so there's lots going on here. I think it's particularly striking that the light is made, and that it's not the sun, because that's not made until day 4. To me, this is just one of the things that kind of underpins the idea that God has written all of this and inspired all of this, and that this is definitely not created by man. This is not a written story made up by man, because automatically men would have said, oh yeah, the light is the sun, so we'd have had the sun made on day 1, but it's not made until day 4. And it's as if it's making a particular point. Don't think inside your box. Don't think inside the natural created order. This is something that's coming from without the created order. This is something that's coming from a divine source. So I think it's very significant that the light is not the sun. All right, and it's also interesting that there's this inclusio, because from Genesis right and through until Revelation, there's this closing of a full cycle, because in Revelation 21 and 22, of course, the closing verses, you find out that the Lord is the light. That's wonderful. It's not the sun. And I think that underpins a lot of the problems with many people when they're studying Genesis 1, is that they assume that the created order is the world that they see around them, and they don't realise that actually it's totally different. All right? And you can draw more from this. First of all, it's the fact that it's evening and morning and night and day before there's ever a sun. We may assume that the planet is revolving just as it does now, but even that is an assumption, let's be honest. Okay, but there's night and there's day, even though it's not the case that there's a sun. Okay, so what's causing the night and day? What's causing the darkness and the light to come on and off at certain times? I think it's also significant that we always think of our day as being set by the rotation of the earth around the sun, and so it takes 24 hours for us to see the sun go through our sky, and so we have 24 hours, light and dark. But actually that's not the case at this point. In fact, if there's a day, it's actually been set by something else, hasn't it? It's been set by God. And actually we realise something quite profound, it's a reversal in our thinking, is that this world, this creation, has been set in motion at a certain speed by God. We think our day is set by the rotation of the planet. It's not. The rotation of the planet was set by the length of time that God wanted it to take, and that's a day. I think that's a remarkable thought. It reverses our thinking. We think of our, think of it this way. Think of your watch. If you got a new watch or the battery was flat or something and you had to start it again, you would construct your watch, or you would set the speed of it so that it fitted to the speed of 24 hours, not the other way around. The world is not set by your watch. Your watch is set by the world around you. Remarkable thought. A kind of upside down way of thinking about things, but it's one of those things that really digs into the deep recesses of our mind. Also, it's interesting that you've got evening followed by morning. Okay, the Hebrew day always starts with the evening, so it reverses our thinking when it comes to certain biblical passages. For example, Jesus having the Last Supper on the evening of Preparation Day, and then it's quite clear that Preparation Day is when he's killed. Well, hang on a sec, how could he have supper on the evening of the day when he was killed? And the answer is this: it's because the evening is, to us as Westerners, the night before. You see, you think of, like, say, the Sabbath is a Saturday, so you think of, well, Sabbath evening you would think was Saturday evening, but it's not, it's actually Friday evening. So the evening of preparation was actually the evening before, and sometimes people have got muddled up, and that's why we have Good Friday instead of, as it should be, Wednesday or Thursday. So the case is that we misunderstand what we're reading because we're not thinking about how the Hebrew day, the biblical day, actually works from evening through till until the next sundown. All right, so that's important as well. So there's a few practical notes there about day one, and I think it's worth bearing in mind some of those thoughts. Of course, I know there's a lot more that I could say. There's a lot more that we could add. That's always going to be the case, but for now, we're just going to think about that. So far, all we've got is a water world. All we've got is a planet with nothing but water. It really is the blue planet, and this is the thing. We're going to go on through the days, and we'll add more and more as we build up. I'm somebody who takes creation literally. Reasons for that are in my conversion. There's another video on my YouTube channel. If you want to see my thought process on evolution, I recommend that you look at it. But I actually take creation as being a literal 6-day creation. And there are reasons for that, which we'll discuss as we get into day 3 and 4 and 5. If you want to click on the subscription or go onto the rest of the playlist, then please feel free, and do feel free to share these. I'd be glad for it to be spread about. Bless you.